This video is going to be a history lesson, but it's also going to emphasize on SSAs and why they are so important, especially when it comes to endgame content. If you've seen my video talking about like what are the abilities to come over there for North America PSO2, Global PSO2 in terms of episode 5, this video is going to emphasize on that and also give you guys a bit of a history lesson, because understand that the Japanese PSO2, especially in episode 1 through 4, didn't have some of the mechanics, the features that you guys currently have. There's a lot of differences. I will have a video, a long ass video, talk about all these different things, but when it comes to the very specific nitpicky stuff and me give you guys a history lesson, this is why I make these videos, just to give you guys a heads up. So you might be wondering, what are SSAs? They are special S-Class abilities, or it might be called special S-Class augments over there in North America / Global PSO2. This was not a thing until roughly around episode 5. I wasn't here during episode 5, but I know that they started to implement this, and it gave a lot of customization to the weapons. And then they start to add this towards the units as well, which allows a lot more to your playstyle, or gives you very specific things that can help you. For example, I demonstrated or I showed my still weapon. I don't know if I have it in my inventory. I still have it in my inventory. You can see that this still weapon has a bunch of S-Class abilities. There are 4 S-Class abilities you can place on this weapon. Now, do you need to get them? No. But it is your choice if you want to get them. And it has to be these specific ones. You cannot get an S4 ability if it does not have an S4 label. So just to briefly give you guys an idea to what this can give you, this will be giving you at least 17% damage. A percent damage compared to a flat static number damage. Like, it's good to have that, don't get me wrong. It's just that percentage gives you a lot more compared to like a flat number, because it's a percent compared to a flat number. You also get this weapon potential, but like this comes with the weapon. These 4 abilities that I have that emphasize on the damage did not come with the weapon originally. I had to affix it with S-Class abilities that I want onto it. This gives me a choice and option. So understand that back then, or most of the weapons that you are currently using in episode 1 through 4, they did not have this. They will change it depending on what the weapon series is and if they do have S-Class abilities. But something like the Ares. Now I'm going to show you an O-type weapon. You guys don't have O-type weapons over there in Global PSO2, North America PSO2. They took out all the O-type weapons. There's 2 particular O-type weapons that you would want, especially one of them called the Monkey King Bar. You guys don't have it. But you can see that this is an O-type weapon. This is a 13-star. This is the Ares series. And there are no S-Class abilities. This is not a new type weapon as well. This is the O-type. And I'm stuck with this potential. Now, obviously, if there are other options to go for a different potential, when you unlock the potential, you can do that. It's just that for this one, this is the common one for the Ares weapon. And it's to boost damage based on your photon blast gauge. This isn't bad, but this is a conditional statement. This is something that you have to meet. Because guess what? Now I had to make sure that I fill up my photon blast my gauge. And once I fill it up, that means I can't really use my photon blast. I mean, I can if I want to. The problem is, it's going to do something to my damage if I decide to pop that and then I had to build it up again. It's not as bad because, yeah, you can build it up again. It's just that it's a condition. You have to have that thing filled up. And it will boost your damage based on how filled up it is. So you can't really go around that. I mean, yeah, you can go for a different potential, but you don't have the ability, you yourself don't have the ability to control what potential you can get, or like if you can toy around with it and add more to it. You're stuck with these other abilities like Modulators, Flint, Power 4, Noble, and Apprentice. But guess what? With these S-Class abilities, they allow you to do something like I showed you, boosting your damage and customizing it to your style. Another weapon I can show right now would be my rifle. Now this rifle is emphasizing heavily on lifesteal. This recovers HP equal to 1% of damage dealt, max is 30. Guess what? I have another one of these, which is boost crit rate by 20%, on crit boost damage by 2%, and recovers 1% of damage dealt as HP, max recovery 30 HP. So the latter of this huge text is lifesteal, which is vampiric strike. Guess what? I'm getting a lot of HP back if I'm shooting at the opponent. If I'm not shooting at them, I'm not going to get my HP, but I'm getting a lot of HP back. That's why when I tend to play with my rifle character, I can heal myself without actually going through the process of getting that animation, trying to heal myself, trying to get someone to heal me. No, I can heal myself because that's what I want. I want that lifesteal because I customize it to that liking. Now, I know this isn't the ideal affix you would want for a Liberate Rifle, but this is how I wanted to do it, and this is what I decided to do. This customizability gives you so much options, so many options, and understand that also when it comes to like you getting these particular weapons as well, you guys over there in global and NA have it easy because you can just buy them. Like, yes, it might be costly, especially if it's like the current meta weapon of that period. For example, like going for a nemesis and whatnot might actually cost like 20-40 mil, and maybe you want to buy it, maybe you don't want to buy it, maybe you want to try to farm for it. If you decide to farm for it, then you're pretty much doing what we old players or a lot of the Japanese players had to go through in episode 1 through 4. Even though they add collection files and new type weapons, it wasn't easy to get 13-star weapons right off the bat. You had to farm for them. There was no pay to win method to get them, or there was no pay option. Like, you could not go into the Visa phone to easily buy these 13-star weapons that you would want. Right now in the Japanese PS2, that's the same thing. You can't buy 13-star weapons, 13-star units you would want. You can't buy the 15-star weapons you would want. You would need to farm for it. Now, they are increasing the rarities that you can sell now. I think 14-star weapons are now available on the Visa phone. You could buy 12-star weapons, 12-star units as well. So it's changing as the game progresses. The thing is, Japanese PS2 had it rough because we had to farm for it. We did not buy them. You could not buy them on the Visa phone. You guys have it easy because you can buy them, and that gives a profit to those who actually went out of the way to farm them. If they have extra weapons they don't need and they want to help someone out, it is up to you to buy them or not, or if you want to grind them. It's just that back then in Japanese PS2 that was not an option. You had to farm for it. So it was rough for those in the past. And this kind of leads up to the other point, which is if you had a certain playstyle and you need a particular weapon that suits your playstyle, then you need to farm for that thing. You could not, once again, buy it easily. And for premium members, they could try to buy it, but they also need to trade in a weapon rarity of some sort. Like if you wanted to get a 12-star weapon, for example, they had to trade in a 12-star to get the 12-star pass to actually get the weapon from the Visa phone. There's a lot of tedious stuff that happened in the Japanese PS2 that you guys aren't dealing with or you may not be aware of. Once again, this video is to inform and give you guys a history lesson to those who have played the game in the past. Especially in episode 2, like you could buy 11 stars, but once again, you need to be premium and you need how to trade it in for a particular pass. But if you were free to play and you were in a premium, like you had to farm for this. You had to figure out where the particular weapon dropped, and you had to go out of your way to try to farm that particular mob and hope that RNG is on your side. For example, I'm trying to remember what weapon I had to farm in the past. Like if I wanted to farm this weapon in the past, like I had to figure out where it was dropping, had to go to the advanced quest to increase the risk. It notes that back then as well, especially in episode 2, you didn't have you didn't have like an option to like easily increase the risk and use the next amount of capsules. No, you had to build your way up. You had to physically get to that high risk so you can increase your chances. Like if I wanted to farm for something like this, I would need to figure out who drops it, and I would have to spam it constantly until I get this to drop. And use a bunch of boosters and all that. So yeah. And here's the thing, like, yeah, it's just that if you want a certain weapon potential, you gotta farm in the past. Once again, you guys over there have it easy because now you can look it up. It's been 8 years, and you can buy it off of someone if they have it. Maybe for cheap or it's expensive, but you gotta do what you gotta do if you want to make sure that you maximize your gameplay. Or if you want a particular weapon potential that will suit you in the long run, you will need to do what you need to do. But that is it for this video. I just wanted to emphasize on that. Let me know what you think. Are you glad that you guys don't need to farm heavily over there in North America Global PS2? Do you remember the times if you did play on the Japanese PS2 where you had to farm heavily? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.